Well, at 12 minutes to 10, as we head towards closure of this morning's edition of News and Views, the Friday edition, once again focusing on where we are as a Muslim Ummah ahead of June the 30th. Now, there's been an interesting piece that has been written by the Amir of the Gauteng Muslim Shura Council, Amir Muhammed, Gadimang, an Islamic call for justice, accountability, and respect for the law in South Africa. Now, before we get to Amir Muhammad, just a few things that we as an ummah need to start thinking about ahead of what we are seeing. Is this a question of a little too late? Because where has our proactive approach been as a Muslim ummah, as a Muslim society? Have we looked inwardly as a Muslim ummah? Have we internalized? Have we even thought that, with some of the lessons of the past, with some of the incidents that have taken in the past, that we need to step up a gear? Now, during the week, we saw the United Ulama Council of South Africa taking the lead, meeting with March in March. We've seen the 22 organizations that have issued their statement. But is this enough? Once again, question marks will be raised that is this only the sole domain and the responsibility of the United Ulama Council of South Africa, or does it involve everyone? We're talking about business. We talk about political leadership. We're talking about political academics, about the business community, because this is what this piece by Amir Muhammad Gadimang alludes to in terms of the businesses. How ethical are we operating? Are we operating within the regulations and the laws of South Africa? Now, this has to be pushed by an entire Muslim Ummah and leadership across the entire spectrum, and not only limited to what we have historically become used to, the ulama leading. It is not only the case for ulama leading. This requires the involvement of each and every aspect of Muslim life and Muslim society in South Africa. Amir Muhammad, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jummah Mubarak to you, my brother, and welcome.
وإياك الشيخ وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
Yes, I think, this piece that you've written, I just found it fascinating. I found it very, very interesting because, while we are concerned about what is going to happen, while we are drawing our own conclusions, while we are doing our own analysis in terms of what June the 30th is all about, whether we're talking about xenophobia, Afrophobia, Islamophobia, whatever phobia we are talking about, but this is a time for us to introspect and to look within ourselves, to internalize where we are as a Muslim Ummah.
Very true, very true. And I think what we are looking at, we are taking the day of the 30th as if it's a century. It's the 30th. It's a day. It's an event that a day of a march would happen to raise the awareness. But what happens after the 30th? That's what we need to be concerned about as a Muslim Ummah. And I think we have completely missed the point to understand the gravity of the issue that is being engaged. And in your introduction, you spoke about UXA. There's nothing wrong with them to have met with the leader of March and March. In fact, it's not a leader necessarily of March and March. The meeting that they had, it shows again that Muslims do not understand the gravity of the issue at hand. The leader that they met, if you listen to him, he's not necessarily a leader of March and March, but aligned or in agreement with March and March. His position, it's more around the Nigerians, drug peddling and all of that. And March are doing a completely different story, obviously supported by what Didieli Wamabuto Ndabandaba is talking about. So it's more like a person that is on a sporting fraternity, you going into a cricket field and trying to play soccer in a cricket field. That's what basically UXA has basically done in this regard. And without even understanding fully the gravity of the problem or the issue that is being engaged and debated. And our call as Muslims, or as Gauteng Muslim Shura Council, it's for Muslims to come together, introspect, and see where we have went wrong or what needs to be corrected, what are the issues, before anything, and even the call that with about 22 Muslim organizations that it's out, it's actually placing Islam as a religion into the political sphere. And we need to protect Islam at all costs as Muslims. We must never bring Islam into this debate, because this debate has nothing to do with religious politics. This debate, it's about illegal immigration. This debate, if you like, you can rather classify them as a nation's war or the tribal war, but you can never classify or bring Islam into it. And let me qualify when I say you can say rather it's a tribal or anything. For an example, much they're talking about the Somalis. We cannot say Somalis is Islam. Islam, it's Islam. Somalis are a tribe or it's a nation. We need to be able to qualify that. Much they have uttered statement, for an example, in the past where they are saying Muslims are killing Christians in Nigeria. And if you look what is happening in Nigeria, in fact, more Muslims are killed in Nigeria by Boko Haram. And this is what we must be fixated on, to correct in the tongue of the leaders beyond the 30th of Islam. We must go all out to protect Islam as a religion, not to protect our narrow personal interest view. And look at the matter at hand. Is the government failing? Is there genuine question or concern that the people are raising or not? I know I thought I would be 2 minutes, but you'd forgive me for that. This is a very emotive matter that is very closer to my heart, and it's sad to see how Muslims are reacting towards the situation. Thank you.
No, absolutely. And I think also what you make a very valid point when we talk about businesses operating in South Africa, within the laws of South Africa. You speak about things like drugs, human trafficking. These are the harsh realities that we as a society face. And while the focus is on march and the terms Afrophobia and xenophobia, these realities, are real issues, and we have been affected as Muslims, and the entire country has actually been affected by what we are seeing, these social ills in society as well. And we need to tackle this. We need to talk about it.
Certainly. I mean, I'll give a typical example. I mean, we've been discussing this as a Gauteng Shura from mid-March, or mid-Ramadan actually, to say how best to approach it. One of the statement of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that says a Muslim is he who another Muslim would say from him, either from his tongue or from his hand. We are looking at it, but again, at the same time, there's this assertions where people are saying, this is a global world, the world belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, respect the law of the land. Go to the people's area with permission. We can't, let's talk about trade. Somali in particular, unfortunately, I just have to bring them here because they are number one in the top list of much over and above illegal immigrants around the issue of the tax shop and stuff. If you look at the Somalis, those that are legal in the country are now trafficking other Somalis, other Ethiopians to come in South Africa to come and work for them, disregarding the law of the land. Should we stand aside and cheer them up as we are the cheerleaders of the wrong things that they are doing? Because now, here you've got a Muslim that owns about 100 shops, 200 shops, 150 shops, whatever amount of shops, could be 50, bringing illegal, undocumented Somalis in the country to come and work for them on the quest of amassing wealth. And this, unfortunately, is at the detriment of Islam. And then you've got Muslims organizations that are not standing up to say, wait a minute, where could be the issue? Is there a concern? Let's talk about the illegal immigrants. In particular, let's refer to the Malawians in the main that happen to be in the country. Majority of them illegally undocumented in the country. It's a concern. What is the issue? Granted, Malawi is going through the hardship, but do we know that to get a passport in Malawi it costs about 3,000 rands, while in South Africa it costs 600 rand. To get a passport in Zimbabwe it's costing 4,000 rand. In South Africa, how much it costs? And even after people pay that money, they are not guaranteed, or it's not easy to get the money. So the problem of Malawi or Zimbabwe cannot be South African a problem, where now you are going to have the country that it's flooded with undocumented illegal immigrants in the country. Recently, early this week, we had about 50-something South Africans allegedly deported from Ireland. When you look at them, 3 of them are white South Africans, 49 of them are Nigerians using South African passport to travel to Europe. And this is at the detriment of us, even in future, as South Africans, to travel anywhere in the world or in Europe, because our passport has been used for explore. And we cannot be sitting down as Muslims and we clarify. But like I said, our issue or our concern is Gauteng Shura. It's not the 30th of March. 30th of March, we acknowledge it as an event. What happens beyond that? Because this is a campaign that is going to continue beyond this. And as Muslims, how are we going to deal with this, or how do we need to do this? The best would be for us to have a dialogue and engage with these leaders to understand and see how we correct and we position ourselves as Muslims. And here I'm saying us as Muslims, as nations or tribes as we are, to protect Islam as a religion from all this confusion that is out there.
Amir Mohammed, you said dialogue. Who should be part of this dialogue? Who should be having this dialogue?
In the beginning, some of the things that I would really, to be open with you, we wanted to meet with March and March, and we still want to meet with the leaders of March and March to put certain things into perspective. And one of the debates we're having as the Shura was, should we involve all Muslim community to go engage with them, or should we go and engage them first as native Muslims or indigenous Muslims? And the basis here was not to say we are ratting out on our Muslim brethren, but for them to understand that South Africa has a large number or large contingency of indigenous Muslims that are from here, being Botswana, being Basotho, being the Pedis, being Amazulu, being Amaxhosa, being Amashangani, being all tribes in South Africa. Engage first and foremost with them for them to understand that this Islam has whatever that they are doing. They should be able to take Islam out of their mouth as into, not to put it into a political space. Short after that, the intention it was to have a follow-up meeting or a broader forum, then to bring a broader Muslim community where we can now sit and engage with the issues and concerns that are there, to craft and develop a solution jointly with them to say how best can we address. We must be part of the solution as Muslims, but we should not be part of the people that would come and crash the concern that people are having in the country. My children, I'm based in a township. My children are so scared to go out because of March and March. They're about 6 years, 9 years, 10 years old. When they go out, they are told that on the 30th, you are leaving the country. And these are Botswana children. They are Botswana, and the other children that are telling that are the same age with them, and they know they are Botswana, but to them, simply because of being Muslims, they regarding them as foreigners in their own country. And this is hence I say the 30th, it's an event. We should not be fixated. Yes, we must be concerned about it. We're hoping everything will go smoothly on that. But beyond that, who are we as Muslims? And how do we engage these people without, for an example, there's a view that says this March and March is funded by the Third Force, or if you like, by the Zionists. This has nothing to do with the Zionists. I admit there are reports that says the Shemba religion or the Shemba church has some relations or working relations with Israel, in this case, or the Zionists. I give it to that. But if you look at Jacinta, she doesn't come across as a person that subscribed to the religion of Shemba. If you look at Ngizum Tunu, doesn't come across as the person. And now we are saying, just by virtue of this March and March or this uprising that are coming through, they are predominantly driven from KZN. Are we now going to judge people to say, no, therefore it's based by this? We are missing the mark. This has nothing to do, yes, there may be a third force that is involved, but this has nothing to do with that. Ours as Muslims, we do not have proof of that. What we have at hand is that we've got an issue of illegal immigrants, we've got issue of crime, we've got issue of drugs. I mean, which country would allow, or who would be happy to have 26,000 prisoners in our prison that are costing us almost over close to R1 billion, if not more than that, on a yearly basis, when unemployment is so rife. And as Muslims, we want to say, no, this is fine, it should happen. These are the things where we need to be able to stand up and speak justice, even if it's against ourselves as Muslims, and put everything aside.
Well, certainly, and I think you allude to this in your piece that you've written as well, where you speak about, Amir Muhammad, you speak about justice is not selective. And I think that alone is a powerful statement in its own, but also at the same time, when you speak about the call for reflection, we may not have all the answers right now. But again, there are huge lessons to be learned in terms of how these issues have evolved over a period of time. And I want to come back to the point that we've never ever had a think tank, because we need a think tank across all spectrums of society, and also at the same time to be able to brainstorm, to come together, to work together, because no individual organization will be able to solve the problem because we don't have the answers.
The problem of Muslims is one, the lack of leadership. That's where we are failing. The absence of leadership, the lack of leadership is the problem. Hence, we are not able to come together and galvanize ourselves as Muslims to confront and deal with these issues. Everyone wants to be a Muslim leader. Everyone can be an activist. We can all be community activists, but do we need to be portraying or putting ourselves as the voice of reason for Islam or for Muslims? It's completely flawed and wrong for us to be able to do that. We need to be able. I'll give a typical example within the Christianity. Christianity, you've got South African Council of Churches, SACC. That's a religious body that is leading or looking around the religious affairs of Christians generally. And then we've got various NGOs that are running across this, that, and that, and that. All of them have those Christians, and you've got churches that run separately as churches. They are not conflating whatever that they're doing. As much as they are Christians, they are not portraying or positioning that as if it's a Christian movement. It's more of a humanitarian, if you look at them. But with Muslims, everything's about Islam, 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 as if we want to be the champions of giving dawah in Islam. And we are failing. We have failed. We are failing. It will take Isa alayhi salam to come back for Islam in the country. And wallahi, I put my statement on that. It will take Isa alayhi salam to come back for Islam to change into the country unless Muslims change their approach and their attitude towards the people that we are living with, towards non-Muslims, towards themselves. And I need, as a Muslim, as I claim to be, and I always say to people that I declare the kalima, and in declaring the kalima, by virtue of that, I'm Muslims. But in a true sense of it, I hope to be a Muslim and live to the way of Islam. So most of us, just because my name is Muhammed and I do the kalima, I pray 5 times a day, I do all these rituals. Sometimes we're thinking that we're Muslims, but does our actions really reflect what Islam expects of us to do? It's not reflecting. So we need to be able to come down as Muslims, reflect and engage. And in certain cases, we need to be able to differentiate and give role and duties to certain organizations. I'll give a typical example about ASRI. ASRI can easily be classified as an organization that we can say becomes the think tank of the organizations, where it brings the intellectuals together to try and engage and influence the government on certain things. Books are supposed to be focusing on other matter that relating to being the vanguard of the religious discourse in the country, but not playing in the political gallery. We need to be able to differentiate so that we don't have things that are blurry in what we are doing as the organization or as Muslims as we're going forward. Only then we may be able to change certain things as they happen in the country. I mean, I can tell you, if you look at the Somali community, predominantly they are setting up and doing their own things here, which they're not supposed to be doing that as the visitors or the guests in this country, but rather a Muslim organization, they're supposed to be subscribing to it. And we completely have missed the plot. And this, unfortunately, we're going to pay the price. Just one more point. I remember a few years when the Shura started, I think it was around 2014-15. One of the things that I said to the brothers, I said, for years to come, we are going to have an issue with a matter of halal in this country. And the question was how so and why. And I said the Indian community, Muslim community, they are the biggest consumers of anything in the country. And at that time, majority of our Indian brothers were owning shops or retail space, which forced the manufacturers now to have a halal stamp in their product. Now, if you look, the trend is changing. You've got a lot of fake goods that it's been put in And who's driving this? Now, if Tiger Brands, for an example, is going to lose revenue because now they cannot certify, there's no need, or they don't see the need for them to certify whatever produce they have as halal. We are going to have a problem because our influx brethren, in the sake of Islam, are now in the country and now portraying and pushing out lot of illegal, what you call, not necessarily illegal, but fake goods that are killing. And one of the concerns that I have, you've got these Muslim organizations that come in and say we are rebuking this, than to look beyond. Where were they early this years when a lot of children were killed by consuming expired food from the tuck shops in the township? Have they ever found in themselves to issue the statement that rebuke the actions of these retail owners that happen to be foreign nationals, and in majority, some of them being illegal in the country? Have they spoken about that? And as Muslims, these are the things that we need to be able to sit down and look at and correct, so that we should not make Islam to be a problem, but to be a solution to what the country is facing currently.
Well, certainly, Amir Muhammad, I wish we had a lot more time. And you say it very well right at the end, where you say the Muslim community should be part of the solution. But for now, Jazakallah khairan so much, my brother, for taking time out with us right here on Salam Media, inshallah. And I'm sure, there's a lot of food for thought in terms of what you've said and in the discussion that we've been having. And I think it does require a lot more discussion. And as you mentioned, this is not only about one day, it's not only about the 30th of June, it is what's beyond the 30th of June. And this is something that seriously we need to think about, we need to introspect, but more importantly, as an ummah, we need to do something about, we need to address. All the best to you, my brother. Have yourself a great Jummah as well. It is the day of Ashura as well, so a double bonus. Please take care.
Ameen. Inshallah. Jazakallah khairan. Shukran jazilan for you to invite me. And certainly we will invite various Muslim communities, including Salam Media. We will invite it once we have made proper contact and engagement with these people. As we move forward, we will certainly make sure that we, broader Muslim community, are part of the debate or engagement to find a solution to the issues at hand, so that South Africa or humanity, our issue is like we should approach this as humanity. We must never approach it as Muslims, but humanity, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sent to humanity. He was never sent to Islam. He was never sent to Muslims. So we need to find a solution for both the country and Africa at large. How do we come to the solution? And certainly, inshallah, we'll do that. Jazakallah khairan for the invitation and for the interview. Hoping to engage with you very soon, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Amir Muhammad Gadimang from the Gauteng Shura Council, Muslim Shura Council, with us this morning. And that just provides us with another angle on the discussion. And these are things that we need to think about very, very carefully. We should not ignore what is being said. Earlier on, we spoke with the representative from the 22 organizations. Now we're speaking, and we can just see where this is actually going for. Heading to, but more importantly, as an ummah again, and right at the end, it's been reinforced over and over again that as a Muslim community, we must become part of a solution. Allah Ta'ala keep us all safe, inshallah. Keep us blessed on this beautiful day of Jummah, the day of Ashura as well, inshallah. Let us raise our hands, let us make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for peace to prevail in this country, for us to be able to take the lead and to show the world, what humanity is all about. And alhamdulillah, a lot of people in their own capacity are doing a lot. But inshallah, as an ummah, again, we need to start rethinking some of the issues that we are confronted with. And again, nothing stays the same. And with the situation evolving over a period of time, inshallah, we need to start addressing these issues. One other issue we need to talk about, the Discover Aqsa tour, 4th to 15th July during the school holidays. Seats are limited, and it's a package that includes Ayub Dadaba as a tour operator, Maulana Musa Akudi as the spiritual guide, return flights, Ethiopian Airlines, Johannesburg, and from breakfast, supper, transfers included, expert tour guides, 4-star hotels, 3 to 4 nights in Jordan, 7 nights in Aqsa in the Old City. Explore the historic Petra Caves, Wadi Rum, and also Amman. So this is quite an exciting tour. There are still very few seats at the left. 39,900 rand per person sharing. You can contact Salam Media on 081-717-2300. Ayub Dadabai on 082-786-0078. With that, wish you all the best. Wish you safety and have yourself a great Jummah, inshallah, and the rest of the day of Ashura. From myself and the team, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.